Hello, everybody. Welcome to the series premiere of the CoronaCast because, COVID-19, it's a big outbreak going around. It's ruining our world. It's changing life as we know it. And we're going to talk about how it's changing us and how it's changing the world. So I'm the host, Brad Brewer, alongside co-host Alex Galbraith there in the middle. And to our left is our special guest for the evening, Brandon Evans, who I feel terrible because as the host, Brandon, I didn't have a webcam. It's up at college because we had to get out of there quickly. So Brandon lent me his mom's old webcam when she used to teach like what, college or something, or what did she teach, Brandon?
Yeah, so mom used to do online college while she was working, and that was one of the webcams that they actually gave her whenever she would have to do like coursework or tests, something like that. It's a very, very, I've never used it before, so I was thinking it might be a good one just based on the aesthetic of it and how it's built. It has like a little tripod thing, and you can wiggle it around, and it focuses on different focal points and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is a nice one. And now that I'm looking at it, it's like, all right, I feel bad as well.
Well, yeah, I have my hopes because it has it says camera professional lens on it and 10 times option zoom. Like I was like, man, this seems so professional, but yeah, it's but I'll get my old webcam, which probably isn't too much better back from college when we are forced to move out this week, which I guess we can talk about first. Is we all go to Arkansas State University, and it's been kind of a what's a good word for it that's not a bad word. It's been a mess of sorts.
It's been a hassle.
I like that.
It's been a very big hassle. Like everything's been changing, I feel like, every day, and now Brandon and I are going back Wednesday of this week to go completely move out of our dorms. Alex, have you already moved out completely?
Yeah, I got everything out just last week, or 2 weeks ago, one of the two. So I got out as soon as I could.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't know, because my plan was to just kind of go, maybe go back for a couple of days and just kind of take it chill, do 2 or 3 trips maybe to completely move stuff out. But no, yeah, they're forcing us to, which I guess I can kind of understand, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. I feel like they've changed like the things they've said every day, which I understand. It's a fluid situation. I think it's getting, the whole outbreak is honestly, I think it's gotten worse in America than I originally thought it would have. What do you guys think?
Well, the outbreak in America definitely has gotten worse. But specifically in Jonesboro, obviously it's not only the outbreak there anymore. We also had to, this weekend, we dealt with a very catastrophic tornado, which also kind of threw the wrench in a couple of plans for some people, I'm sure. And that just multiplied all the trouble for sure, because there for a while, people were getting laid off jobs, especially due to the virus and whatnot, not being able to work and all that kind of stuff. And now a lot more people are out of this. But hey.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for better timing. It's one thing after another here.
You can't catch a break.
You can't catch a break, but at the same time, we kind of did catch a break because, COVID strikes Jonesboro and all the restaurants and shops are shut down, and this tornado comes in. And luckily, there weren't many people in those shops and restaurants and in the mall. So, a lot of more lives and more injuries could have happened had we not had this virus. But I'd say that's maybe the only positive come out of it, and the only positive come out of it from this tiny little city in northwest or northeast Arkansas. It's nothing.
Yeah, I think that is a silver lining. And one thing I did, I tweeted about it, was that once the tornado hit, everyone was kind of wanting to go see the damage because it hit Red Wolf Boulevard, which is our main road, and everyone wanted to go see the damage because it took out the mall, it took out so many big places. But also it's while this is a huge deal, while people are going to have to start cleaning up everything, but you're also dealing with the whole social distancing stuff of the coronavirus. So I had to remind people how I feel not too many people were talking about how sure, we need to help, but we also still need to keep in mind that there are 2 things going on, and that this coronavirus, just because a tornado happened, it's not just gone away, it's not out of style. So
Right.
Oh no, yeah. Well, that's the sad thing too. Is you got people that maybe did lose their homes or something like that, and they're going to like these churches or shelters, or whatever. And they're all packed in together, and we're supposed to be practicing this social distancing, and you can't do that. And you've got guys out there on the roads, emergency services trying to help clear roads and clear the debris and everything, and they're not practicing it either. So I mean, and not that they can really, you got to get that stuff done, but it's just
Right.
quite the conundrum, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And even cleanup parties are a big thing right now. I've seen one of our friends in particular, Carissa, she's posting on her story. Um, she had like this big group of people that was just going around the neighborhoods that really got hit the worst. And they're just, trying to help families find stuff that could be salvageable, clean things up, and then, move them to places, their temporary housing or wherever they're being moved to. And yeah, I mean, it's just big groups of people all over the place. And I definitely agree with Brad. That's one thing that definitely needs to be, I mean, realistically, it needs to be limited because, this whole Corona thing is a really big deal. But it's like one of those things, just like almost unavoidable. Like,
yeah, it's, I mean, because you have to balance it out. Like, it's now, I think it's almost a necessary evil that you are going to have to expose more people to the coronavirus because so much stuff, like people have lost their homes, people have lost their businesses. So I think it's,
Right.
yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, there is a level of, okay, well, we're going to have to clean up the town anyways. So I think it's just, yeah, I think people are just going to have to think smarter about it. And it's definitely going to be more difficult than probably usual cleanup because, practicing social distancing while cleaning up, torn down buildings is going to be tough. But
sure.
so moving away from kind of just the weird weekend that last weekend was with the tornado, we've been kind of like in this kind of quarantine social distancing lifestyle for a couple of weeks now. So Alex, I'll start with you. How? Because I don't feel like I haven't really talked with you like on the phone, or I mean we've texted every now and then. But like,
Yeah.
how has your life been? Being just like bolted up and no sports. That's killer for you.
Yeah. So, oh man, the business baby is not booming. I can tell you that. It's rough. But no, I mean, you come home and you're just kind of stuck there. I'm a guy that, especially this past week was our spring break per se, and we knew we weren't going back to school after that. But spring break was usually my time to go out and do a bunch of stuff, and you just can't. You can't go out to eat. You can't go to the movies. You can't go hang out with people. I saw a couple people over the break, but it was very limited, very brief, and you weren't that close together. So you're stuck in your house or stuck within your city with literally nothing to do. And the sad thing is, when this happened, we knew this was a possibility of being quarantined per se, but I never thought it would last this long. I thought maybe a couple weeks max, and now we're looking at this maybe being the case through at least the end of April, probably until early June, if not further. And I just can't help but question, how are we going to keep doing this? How are businesses and restaurants and schools, for that matter, how are they going to remain closed? How are we going to operate as a city and a society where we're so scared to step out of our houses and go do anything? And so it hasn't been easy, I can tell you that.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Brandon, yeah, like how I mean, because I feel like I know because me and you, like being like your roommate freshman year in college, me and you are two completely different people. Like I'm kind of a homebody. I'm more of like low energy, so I feel like I've been able to take just kind of staying at home, being on the computer a long time, better than others. But you're someone who always likes going out and doing stuff, so I know it's probably
That's
hard
what
for
I was gonna say. Like Alex touched on, spring break, he's got things to do. If you know me, then you know that I always have something to do. I mean, Alex, we'd go to the ASU TV meetings together, and sometimes I just would not be there. They FaceTime me. Where are you? Kansas City. You never know. Sometimes, you just got to do stuff, and due to the respect for others around me, I'm not able to do that, and I'm not taking it well. I really enjoy having connections with people in person, like hanging out and just doing all that kind of stuff. So as of right now, I'm trying to do my best to maintain that through Discord and other platforms like gaming, stuff like that. It's been a hard thing, especially as a photographer as well, because like I'm always you can't really get out there and market yourself with this whole thing going on because no one's supposed to really be together at this point. And I don't need to be outside in the city taking photos and stuff, because not only am I risking myself, but I mean, if I were to have it and not know it, I'd be risking it to other people as well. So just got to be responsible with it.
Yeah,
yeah. Act responsibly. We're not drinking responsibly. We're trying to act responsibly here.
That's right.
Weird. It's weird. I don't like it.
Speaking of drinking responsibly, so my birthday is on April 9th, and that's my 21st birthday. So that's another, like, I don't know. Like, are liquor shops closed? They're not, are they? I mean, eventually they may. Well,
no.
I mean, eventually, because I mean, I've been talking to like the only person I've really hung out with other than Brandon, my friend Lauren, over spring break and now, and she expects things to just shut down. Like Louisiana, where she goes to college, it's completely apparently they're declaring they're shutting down like the state borders and stuff. Like I haven't been keeping an eye on this personally, but they are like they're shutting down everything but the essentials, and so. Yeah. That's gotta suck because my birthday's gonna run. I'm not, like I said, I'm not that big. I'm a pretty low energy person. I wasn't gonna throw this huge party at like a bar or anything, but it's still pretty sad. So hopefully I can, because I know a lot of I've seen some people on Snapchat be funny and talk about how everyone is going for toilet paper and they're going for the booze. Oh, voice crack, but booze. So yeah, how Alex? How are you? Like, how are you passing time? Are you just kind of like sitting there, like watching reruns on like ESPN?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, I watched the entire rerun of Super Bowl 51. It was on Fox, and that's all I did. Was just sat there. It was like, well, nothing better to do on this fine Sunday. But it's you find time by just creating your own sports. I've learned to I made my own NCAA tournament field. I've been like simulating these games on like 2K or the video games. You're just trying to. Now watch them. I don't play them. I watch them, and that gives me like some sort of entertainment. And then of course, one positive, believe it or not, is we have schoolwork to do. We've got to stay on top of our academics, and no one wants to do that. No one really enjoys doing the work, but at least that's a little something that can, pass the time or makes you actually have to do something instead of just maybe laying around the house all day. So. I'm doing a mixture of those things. I'm trying to be somewhat productive, whether it's working with the business or taking care of things around the house. Anything to keep busy, anything to keep moving, not just being stagnant.
Yeah, and so, well, I guess I'll go ahead and ask Brandon, because I mean, you've been playing a lot of video games. We've been on Discord. I mean, I was probably on the computer, like I was talking about towards the end. I mean, also my sleep schedule has been torched. Like I've been like,
Same.
Oh yeah,
I thought I fixed it because I went to sleep like at 9:30 a.m. this morning, and then woke up at like 12:30 like p.m. and so I only had 3 hours and thought I fixed it, but then I took a 3-hour nap a couple hours ago, so now I think I'm just gonna stay up again. But I mean, Brandon, like, is gaming the only thing you've been? Because there've been a pretty good amount of times where I'm in the Discord server, and you're I don't know, other places. I know you have your photography Discord that you have.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a group of photography friends that I do hang out with, not in person, but on the internet. It's just trying to find people to talk to, just to fill the void 24/7. But no, I've been hanging out with the family while I'm here too. Obviously, it is technically, well, not anymore, but it was spring break, so just spending time with the family, doing stuff like that. Now, granted, I'm going to be here for a few more months, it's looking like, so I'm going to have plenty of time with them.
Yeah, kind of how I feel too.
Right. Yeah, so, stuff like that. But also, I've been trying to do my best to stay busy on the business side of things as well. I got Brandon's films going for me, trying to do photography and whatnot, and I'm doing what I can at the moment, while this whole thing's going on. So especially with the tornado that just hit through Jonesboro, I've been looking at doing a print sale and donating all of the proceeds towards local shelters or places that can really help with the people who've been affected in Jonesboro. So it's just stuff like that that's been keeping me busy.
Oh, cool. So Brandon is exercising his charitable spirit.
Of course, you got to do what you can. These are needy times.
Yeah, you're right. They're needy times. And I saw, Alex, you mentioned academics, right? And everything's just so different. Things are moving towards online. Professors are kind of like, they don't even know what's going on, admittedly.
Yeah.
And I read an article from a philosophy professor at A-State, and she was talking about like how everyone, like, there's this whole like debate over they want to just ditch the GPA for the semester, do pass fail, or just pass everyone or whatever. So because when this first like started and when I first moved back home, it honestly felt like school was out in a way. Like, I kind of forgot, like, for a few days. Like, because before then I was go like, I had like all these projects, and then I went to New York City, and then I came back and had to catch up on stuff because I was in New York, and then this hits and everything just pauses and it stops, which is actually, like, if there's one of the biggest positives of this to take away from me is that I just was able to stop and like catch a breath and kind of just decompress. But how hard is it for you guys? Because it's actually been pretty challenging to kind of still align my focus on, it's still spring semester.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
And for me personally, it's been very interesting. I feel that the majority of the classes I was taking this semester anyway were kind of already heavy on the online side, so not a whole lot has changed for me, especially with our media analytics class, Bradley, and other classes like that. I have the audio podcast that I do for one of my classes, and most of that's online. Take care of it, so I'm still able to do that from home. I have my microphone, I have my computer. And so a lot of that's not changed, but there's actually been a couple classes like multimedia production. That one got completely, it's just like done now. Perkins sent out an email. He was like, I'm pretty comfortable with where we've gotten so far in the semester. And I think that this would be a good stopping point. So we're just not going to continue from here. And it looks like some of my other classes are kind of leaning towards that way as well. Intro to Digital Publishing, which was an online class for me already. There's a lot of stuff. The professor was basically like, I've dealt with a lot of things. I know how challenging a college semester can be, but I can't imagine what it's like during a pandemic and all this kind of stuff. So she's just trying to find the best like path for her to go for the class, and so it looks like a lot of the assignments are going to get toned down for a little bit, and this semester is just really going to fly by from here, for me at least.
No, I fully agree, and I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I've had a couple, we're all within the same department here, but I've had a couple teachers that have sent out emails like they're just done. They're like, whatever your grade was by our last assignment, that's what your grade's going to be for the final, and if you're not happy with it, maybe we can work something out. But honestly, that's not a bad way to go. This whole thing, you take away the tornado, pretend that didn't happen, and I don't think we're having a lot of these conversations right now. Like, COVID and this online class stuff isn't fun. It's not easy, but we can power through this. But you throw in a tornado where some of our students live and a lot of our teachers do live, that shakes a lot of things up. And so that article that Brad was mentioning from the philosophy teacher, she was saying we should probably just kind of ditch the rest of this semester, because how is anybody, student, teacher, faculty, how are they going to be able to focus, and if they can, do their job and their work effectively with the worries of the virus and the struggles and the stuff with the tornado? And then you've got, one thing that I don't think a lot of people think about is like our teachers, if they have families and if they had kids, those kids are at home with them. They're having to teach their own kids from home or help them through their stuff. And for all day, 7 days a week, they have their kids when usually their kids are gone 5 days of the week for most of the day. So there's a lot of struggles, not just from the student side, but from the teacher's sides too. And it definitely makes things a lot more complicated, and you got to put those things in perspective. So I admire the teachers that, it sounds, of course, students are going to say this, but I admire the teachers that ended the class that way. I'm happy with it. I'll take the less work and ended the class, but I think that's easier for everybody involved.
Yeah. And I like my dad, he teaches like at a private school in Bryant, and he's kind of had a different like approach. Like he still thinks like, well, we're still like in school, it's still the semester, so I'm still gonna like teach, and we're still gonna go over the content, which I guess like in a public school kind of way, I think it's a bit different. I don't know, especially because you're comparing. I think if it was just transitioning with like the coronavirus and all this stuff, like, okay, fair enough, it's gonna be tough, but we'll do our best to get through it. But with the tornado, like in Northeast Arkansas, that's just like I mean, that's just the icing on the cake for just ditching this entire semester. And like that professor made a, I think Meredith Merritt, I believe was her name. And one thing, like kind of the way she ended her article was like, how can we expect the best, and like how can we expect someone to learn and teach to the best of their ability when all of this is happening? Like, and you have foreign students having to go back home, and then you want them to wake up probably 3-4 a.m. in their time zones to get on a Zoom. It's just
I think that's a good point. I really never even thought about that. That's a great point.
For sure. Yeah.
So like there's so many things that we don't even think about. There's so many layers to it that I feel like people do forget about, especially for universities.
And there's other little things that are going on, like everybody has their own stuff going on in their life, like you said. Some of these teachers have families, but even the students have other things going on. Some of them might still have jobs going on that they still have to do, because a lot of them are in the medical field, especially with in other departments and whatnot, and they're constantly being called on as of right now because the pandemic going on. And there's other places like delivery drivers or whatever. They're constantly back and forth because that's the only thing that's that they're able to do. So you have to take a look at that and put that into perspective for some people, because especially, these people still have to work to provide for themselves. If they're independent, they got to pay rent, they got to do all this stuff, and they also have they just have other things that they have to take care of.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I don't think we really think about that. And now, a lot of people are having to. The economy is down, man, and people are saying, we're about to go into like a Great Depression 2.0 here if this keeps up for much longer, because people are filing for unemployment. They just passed that big stimulus package not too long ago to try to help those people through these times. The stock market's down, and people are losing their jobs because people can't afford to keep paying their employees, and these businesses staying afloat. So. Yep. It's a scary time, and we know eventually we're going to get through this. The biggest question is just how long. I don't think anybody thought that when it got to the United States, because we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, that it was going to spread this bad and that it was going to affect us this bad to the point where we're basically on a nationwide shutdown.
Yeah, and America's. Especially in politics, we've seen kind of the debate over the American healthcare system. And I'm someone who personally thinks, like you said, there's this huge, I'm not going to get too political here, but, our healthcare system isn't the best in the world. Let's just be straight. No. So, there are other countries that have done a much better job. And to be fair, America does have a harder job because we are a lot bigger and have a lot more people over a wider space than a lot of other countries. So it is just naturally harder. But, at the same time, because when I was in New York City, I think there were about 11 people who had it in Manhattan, and maybe just under I think around 90 who had it in the entire New York Island. And now it's it's basically the Division video game. It's everything's
really
down.
Yeah.
Get this, I actually I was looking into that. New York is obviously the hot spot for it right now, and today was the highest reported day of the deaths in the state. To date, it actually hit 250 deaths in New York, just today alone.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it hit 3,000 for the country.
Yeah. And you're seeing that, and sticking in New York, they're making makeshift hospitals in Central Park. I don't know if y'all have seen that, but they've got these tents and these refrigerated trucks to store the bodies of the people that have passed away, and they're building a hospital in Central Park. They're putting these hospital ships in the harbor for people that don't have corona because they need more space in the real hospitals for those that do have it. Clearly, and not to say that we should have been, we weren't prepared for something like this. No one was. It's hitting on a grander scale than everybody thought possible. But I've just never seen anything like this. It's truly unbelievable.
Yeah, you mentioned Central Park, and I made the remark of it's almost like the Division. I remember in the Division, one of the main things I remember from that game was for people who don't know, it's a video game where this disease was it was a man-made disease, but it'll spread and it basically just shut down the entire city, and there's gangs that rose up, and basically the government just was gone, which isn't that's much farther down the road in terms of severity than what we have now. But like you say, like the makeshift hospitals in Central Park in the game, they use that as like a mass burial site, and so if that happens, I'm gonna be like, this is too much for me.
Well, I also wanted to bring up, I was going to say it earlier, but my internet kind of spotted out for a second. So, as of today was actually the highest reported death toll in New York. And you were mentioning how, maybe 11 people in Manhattan had it, but today alone in the state, 250 have died from COVID-19. Like, it's getting really out of hand, and so it really makes you wonder.
Yeah.
It's because I believe Trump and the administration said they're expecting 100 to 200,000 deaths before this is over, which is crazy because I think about I had a conversation with Brad Bobo, who does sports casting and stuff in Jonesboro, and 9/11 shut stuff down for a day or two, and killed 2,000-3,000 people, and we're looking to exponentially have that amount, which is crazy. One thing I do think about, and it's kind of morbid, but I think about the cool thing is we're kind of living in history, that's kind of, I'm taking the time to kind of almost, I'm not gonna say enjoy it, but really analyze the moment and just imagine the magnitude of when there's going to be history books and people read history books in 2050, this is going to be in there.
Yeah, for sure.
This is going to be a story that I know I'm definitely going to tell my kids and my grandkids. I survived the COVID-19. It's something that I never thought. I was planning on having some cool stories when I got older, but this was never one of them. But yeah, we're going to say that we lived through a virus, and then we how we powered through, and how it's just, you hear these stories before, you hear these horror stories of these diseases. I'm not going to say it's similar to the plague in a way, but we grew up learning about that and the Spanish flu and stuff like that, thinking, oh man, that's crazy, but that ain't going to happen here. And look at it, now we're going to be able to say we survived something that was like that on our scale.
Yeah, and so
sure.
I'm gonna ask kind of one more challenge that this kind of whole thing has presented us before. I do try to go a bit on more of the positive side, and try to make it, I guess, more lighthearted in the conversation. But I feel like this kind of general conversation about how life sucks with this happening, it needs to be had. We all kind of mentioned you have the gridiron expert, where obviously more football heavy, but it's still cut out whatever March Madness content you've had to create it using video games. Brandon's a photographer, and obviously he can't go out and shoot at sites because he needs to stay inside. And I was had a interview scheduled with the Arkansas Traveler baseball team over spring break that got pushed back indefinitely because we have no idea what's going to happen. So we all have kind of had roadblocks in terms of our jobs. So talk about how, I guess, either one of you, Brandon, you kind of talked on it, so I guess I'll ask Alex first, how what kind of impact has this made on the Gridiron Expert platform and how you've been creating content?
Yeah, it's definitely made it a lot more difficult, but like you said, my main focus is football, so luckily it hasn't impacted football yet. I hope that this is solved, or at least kind of put under control before football season starts. But if anything, this has made me really, two positives, I guess, is one of them is it's made me be a little more creative. March Madness didn't happen, and usually we put out content for March Madness and the NBA playoffs and stuff like that. Now that's not happening. I had to come up with a way to still get that same content out, or enough content out regularly, without live sports happening. So we've created some videos. We did our own Selection Sunday video, had the names appear as we said them, and it was a long 30-minute deal, like you're watching it on TV. And so it was kind of a grander scale type of production, and something that took a little more time, but something that was a lot of fun to make and more creative to make. And then the other thing too is it's giving me more time. Without sports, while I still want to try to produce content as much as possible, it's giving me more time to really sit down and try to find ways to make it better. And that's another reason I'm glad to be home too. Is I've got to balance this academic work, but I can take this time to do some research and find out ways to improve the channel. Maybe reach out to I've already done this. Reach out to a couple people to partner with and to do some sponsorships with. Anything to improve the brand and to expand it, make it grow. Something that I wish I'd been able to do during the school year, but I was always, as Brad mentioned, go, go, go. But now things have kind of died down. I can take a little more time to do that. So while it's maybe a little more difficult, there are still some positives to come out of it.
For sure.
All right. Nothing to add, Brandon? I mean, you kind of talked about your photography woes already.
Yeah. I mean, I'll touch on it a little. I don't have a whole lot more to say, but definitely it's definitely been a weird transition because obviously I'm less focused on the physical aspect of it all and, going places, shooting, booking stuff with people, that kind of stuff. But I've been very, very active on the social media, and obviously that's helped because a lot of other people are as well. So, I mean, I'm looking at it, my impressions have gone up about 30%, which is pretty good for me. We're up peaking towards 400,000 impressions for the month, so we're doing good.
Nice.
As far as that goes, yeah. And I'm also just kind of taking a while to, I was actually out of a computer there for a while as well. Most people don't know that, but, my editing laptop that I was using for a while got water damaged. Just got that in today, ordered a new one. So, I really couldn't have done anything anyway, even if I could go outside. But, just taking a while to kind of soak in things and just, have fun.
All right, and so both of you kind of hinted at the positive things that have been happening through all of this, and we talked about how I've been it is fun to kind of have a fast-paced lifestyle and have stuff thrown at you, but it also is kind of it's nice to have that kind of rest period, which is honestly this rest period. I mean, I've kind of felt a little bit of anxiety just kind of sitting around oh man, there's nothing that I'm really doing, but it has forced us to be creative, right? I mean, it's forced, me and Alex were sitting on our Zoom class for sports production, and I was like, I'm thinking about doing this just podcast for fun. It may not be a huge deal, but about just the coronavirus, and then I expect, if we keep doing this and this is fun, even when this whole thing goes away, we can just keep it, but we'll still have this name. That's the way I kind of wanted to have this name, just because this is where we got our roots. It's because we just started to
history.
Yeah, it's just
exactly.
We started doing this because we were bored, stuck inside. But no, I think it's been good, kind of in a way to just kind of settle in. I do love sitting in front of my computer playing video games for a while. Me and Brandon grinded out this Call of Duty challenge on the Spec Ops co-op mode, and we spent way too much time doing that. But we got
3 days.
Yeah, but we got our special AUG skin or whatever that it was. And then I'm not I told Alex that I think it was I had that date planned the day after, and I was like, "Do you have a date plan?" I love coronavirus, which I do not love, but I was kind of just trying to make it as lighthearted as possible. So, what are some other positives that you guys have had? Because I don't know, I feel like I am particularly personally in a good spot, like spiritually and emotionally, in a way. So, what about you guys?
Yeah, positively. Brad, you mentioned it earlier. I'm similar to you in the way that I'm kind of a homebody. I like getting out. I like hanging out with people a lot, and I've become that person in college. But look, if you offer me a day just to chill in my house or my room and play video games or whatever, I'm going to take it. But one positive for sure is getting to see the family a little bit more, getting to spend some time with them. Because had this not happened, I would have just come home. I'd have been home in about a month. So I would have been home for a week for spring break and then back up to school. So getting to see them and kind of getting to bond with them a little bit more, getting to when it's nice enough, getting to go outside a little bit more. I hardly went outside at school to actually enjoy it, besides just walking to class. So getting to go out, maybe being a little more active, because you have time now. That's the thing. And I always joke, our major is not by any means an easy major. It's difficult. But it's maybe not as high maintenance as an engineering major or a nursing major or something. So we have that little bit of free time, that luxury to get our stuff knocked out or postpone it, and then get to go do what you want to do. Whether that's working on your business, trying to promote it or build it up a little bit more, or getting to talk with more people, or getting just to do what you want to do, whether it's playing video games, sleeping, watching some TV, whatever it is. You can kind of decompress. And Brad, I'm like you said, I was always on the go at school. It was class, homework, something to do with business, meetings you got to go to. And now that's died down, I can kind of take that out of the equation. It's been a nice opportunity to kind of rest up and really try to reorganize some things.
Right now, okay, Brandon. What I know because so you're kind of different than us, but I mean, yeah, tell us the silver linings.
Well, okay, my internet's being real spotty right now, but I'm gonna try to power through this. So I just want to say, like, for me personally, like, I'm always on the go doing something. I want to always be active and doing something. So for me, this has definitely been weird, but I think one of the best things to come out of it is me actually being okay with slowing down, learning how to adjust to the new lifestyle, and just be able to not be on the move all the time. That's been something that I've always, like, not necessarily wanted to have, because I really enjoy being outside and stuff, but I wanted to make it more bearable for myself, and this is definitely, like, helping out with that, because I feel like not only do I have to, but but yeah, as Alex had mentioned, always I'm also finding ways to get outside, be more active responsibly, going on walks or something, or we even just got a basketball goal put up at the house, so I've been outside shooting hoops, working on my jumper, just doing stuff like that. I will say I'm pretty clean. I got a 70% free throw rating right now, so
you've been counting it.
That ball,
that's solid.
Might be going in. But yeah,
it's better than a lot of people, and
yeah, it's not bad.
It's better than a lot of players in Sunbelt. It's better than a lot of players.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna go too much into Arkansas State athletics, but yeah,
yeah, we know all about that.
we know all about it, probably too much.
Yeah, I was joking with some of my friends. I was like, I was telling them I want to be the first draft pick for the A-State online basketball team. So
the esports team,
maybe
2K,
possibly.
That transition
eventually,
over.
if this doesn't fix up, you might be having to look at doing some sporting events on the web.
Yeah, and people have already started doing that. Like, I kind of wrote about it in an article that should be coming out soon online for the Herald. But we've seen NASCAR. They have like the simulator, the iRacing simulator, and they've been on Fox Sports 1. They've been broadcasting those races, like those online races. And one big thing is, I mean, both of you guys know that I'm a pretty big esports fan. Like, I love professional Counter-Strike is the main thing, but I watch other stuff, and it's, they've changed because they usually play in studios, but you can play online. Like, you can't play basketball or football online, but you can play these games online because that's where they originated. So those things are still surviving and probably flourishing because everyone's like, well, I want to watch something that'll scratch my competitive itch, so I'll watch ESL Pro League or something like that. So, what you ever thought about watching some Counter-Strike, Alex?
Only when I'm really desperate.
Yeah, fair enough. I've been.
It's not a bad idea to branch out, though. Look, desperate times call for desperate measures. Yeah. So, maybe tonight I might have to study up on a little Counter-Strike and see how into it I can get.
We can become a casting duo for Counter-Strike. I mean,
boom.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we
that
can
work.
I think we could do it. I mean, I think we're looking at a possible casting analyst desk right here. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Brad's obviously got the knowledge of it. He's been to one of the events in Dallas. He's pretty into it, and obviously, Alex, you have quite the skill for just sitting up there and talking. I feel like you could make it, look like you know what you're talking about pretty easily.
Oh, probably without a doubt. Guns, shooting. We can figure it out.
It's basically Call of Duty. You just gotta announce what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's easy enough. Oh, that's gonna be great. I'd love that actually.
I mean, it's honestly because the thing is, like, our friend Lucas said, Brad, like, you should try to practice casting Dota, and I'm like, no, like that game, I have no idea what's going on in that game. Like, I would like that's one of those things. It's just like, they're like attacking the Baron or something like that, or I don't know, like the Elder Dragon. I don't know what's going on. What does the Elder Dragon do? So I'm still.
It's a character.
It's a character. Well, I mean, I don't know. Wait, is it like a champion like you play as, or is it like something you kill in like the jungle or something like that? That's what I thought it was.
Oh man, it's been so long.
You have like 1,000 hours, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I've almost clocked about 986 hours into the game. It's been a while. I don't remember exactly.
Oh, look, Brandon, that's your project tonight. You got to get to 1,000 hours for me.
You think so? I probably could.
It's only 14 more. You're that close. I mean, it's a milestone. You got to get there.
Might as well. Yeah. I mean,
you can break it up over a few days if you need to.
I've only hit 1,000 hours on one game before, and that's Gary's mod, and I'm pretty proud of it.
What did you play to get to that? It was like you play like the roleplay servers, right?
Yeah, I'd play on Dark RP. It's
Okay.
a lot of fun. It's like GTA but sandbox, so you get to like build stuff.
Oh, yeah, I've actually seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually used to watch videos of people playing that. Believe it or not.
There you go.
So,
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It looked fun.
Yeah, I played like Trouble in Terrace Town. I think was like that, like Death Run, stuff like that. Just kind of because I don't know, like those huge games. Like for some reason, like it's just turned into a gaming podcast, I guess. I don't know, but like those huge games where like I feel like I need an objective, right? I need to have a goal set in mind. Like I need to go from point A to point B, and I like some openness. I like some, I guess just some diversity in what I can do. But like I still like if it's just opened up, like it throws you in. Like I can't really get into GTA like online because it just throws you in, and it's like, all right, do whatever you want, and people love that. Some people just thrive, just drive around, blow stuff up, whatever. I need an objective. I need something that like I'm working towards. So
my objective is to get rich in every game.
Well, and
then flex on everyone.
Mine too. Like because when I played GTA Online when it first came out, and it was like my main objective I think was to get the most like expensive apartment or whatever, like land in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got that, I was like, well, I don't know. Like I accomplished my objective that I set for myself, and I couldn't find another one, so I never played again.
Well, I hate to tell you, but you might have to play it again. They made some updates. We don't have to get into that right now.
It's a big game. I know Call of Duty is like 180 gigabytes anyway.
Yeah.
And this file that we're recording is probably going to be pretty big too. So maybe in a bit. All right. So let's talk about I guess the future. Why not? Because we're gonna. I mean, speculation's kind of weird because we're just 3 college students who know nothing about the medical field. Well, I'm speaking for myself. Maybe you guys know more than I do. I don't know. I mean, because your mom's in the healthcare field, Brandon. I don't know about like you, Alex, and you look like a doctor though, Alex. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you. You
got the button-up shirt and like the pullover. You look. I mean, yeah, you look like a doctor, man. Like
that's my alter ego. By day, I'm the gridiron expert. By night, I'm treating COVID patients.
I mean, you're like Batman.
You'd be a chiropractor or something.
Yeah, I could see him being a chiropractor. I don't know. I can see it, but
yeah,
he's got the look. He got the clean cut.
Yeah, well,
doctors look.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're working on it.
So I guess I was going to shave before this, but just didn't.
It didn't happen.
Hey, you know what? If I can't get a haircut during this, I'm not gonna shave either.
I like that.
You're not going to shave this entire... Thankfully, I got a haircut right before everything started shutting down. Like,
yeah, no, dude, this is all going to be natural until I can go get, my appointment set up.
Well, on the bright side, we got you as our guest for the first episode. So maybe like on episode 10, and if we're still like stuck inside, we could see like, before and after, and you're just going to be like a gorilla.
I like that.
That would be great. I would love to come back.
Like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna run out of guests eventually. I mean, me and Alex aren't that popular, bro.
Not yet, Brad. We're getting there.
Yeah. I've got ideas in my head. I've got ideas of people lining up.
I'll hook y'all up with some people.
To be photography people. The the guy from New York City who may or may not have went out into Times Square and started taking pictures.
Hey, I can get him on here.
Well,
no problem.
All right, well, May. When did he do that? When did he go out? Because I mean, that's the thing. Like, we want people to stay inside, and like, I'm not gonna like, because there's no one around. So I mean, at the same time, like, if you're the only person out there, at the end of the day, are you
Yeah.
really causing like too much of a problem? But then if everyone like has that
I don't
idea,
think you are. Dang.
But if everyone has the idea,
Yeah.
right, that's what it is. And I don't remember when he actually went out there, but I'm gonna pull it up real quick and I'll get back to you on that.
all right. Also, by the way, this is not an advertisement because it's the first podcast. We're not advertised, but Sonic just released their Red Bull slushes again, and
Ooh.
that was
Okay.
like I survived off that last
Cover that
summer.
logo.
I've been pointing
right.
at it. I've been pointing at it. If they take it down, look, I'm giving them free press.
Yeah, it's free
right now.
advertising.
It's free
Come on,
advertising. Yeah, like so. I mean, it's like because I think last year they did like a cherry limeade, but now they did a watermelon, which tastes. This one tastes kind of like a normal watermelon slushy with a hint of Red Bull. So I think like the regular Red Bull slushy more. But I'm a caffeine addict, which is another thing. In college, I would like the campus store. I'd get like a Monster a day, and now like I barely have energy drinks. I mean, I have sodas, like I have Dr. Peppers. I have we have 2 liters of Mountain Dew, which I don't drain. I drink them pretty responsibly. I think I try to even those out with water. But yeah, and I've been eating like my dad's been actually picking stuff up a lot. So I feel like in a way, I don't know. Was I eating better at college? Because I miss freshens, that like the rice bowls and the flatbreads and all that stuff. I miss that stuff. But
Baja queso, baby. That's where it was at.
yeah,
That's a good one. Can't go wrong with that.
Nah, I mean, that's perfect.
Mhm.
Now, I feel like I'm actually eating more than I'm at home because I'm stuck
Yeah.
inside and I've got a
Same
pantry
here.
full of food at my disposal.
and you don't pay for it. It's fair.
Now, back in college, it was like I was lazy. So it's like if I'm hungry, unless I had a group of people that wanted to go eat, I didn't want to walk to the Union to eat. And I didn't like walk all the way over there. And I rarely had that much food in my room. And if I did, it was crap. Like it was garbage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like I'm eating more here, but it doesn't mean I'm eating better.
Yeah, for sure. Same here, 100%. Just to go back a little bit, I looked it up. My friend Devin went out to Times Square and shot photos on March 20th, 10 days ago.
Okay.
Still a pretty big deal back then. So
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't completely like shut down as because I think that just happened like 5 days ago. I don't know. Time's been like
Well-
time doesn't exist for me anymore. Like at this point, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no, time doesn't exist. It was not like officially shut down to my knowledge, but I mean there was literally nobody there. So I believe to some extent there was already a general rule of thumb that you're not supposed to be outside, especially there.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's I don't know. I don't hate it, and the cool photos. Like I'll
Very cool photos.
I'll edit in the tweet over this so people
Yeah.
could see it. Yeah. Okay. So let's see how we're doing on time. All right. We've almost hit an hour, which is what I was kind of aiming for, which is good because I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Honestly, it's pretty. I've been kind of like schools. We're out of spring break now, and so school is kind of hitting us, and so like I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do this. I need to do all these things. So lots of life is starting to pick back up, even though I'm just sitting in this chair forever. So I was gonna ask before I went on a tangent of how Alex looks like a doctor. What are you guys' expectations, hopes? Like I kind of expect this thing to be kind of not gone, but rolling out of here around like early June, so we can kind of somewhat get back to normal. Is that what you guys are kind of thinking?
That's what I want to believe. I mean, I know it's what President Trump has said, that he plans on kind of reopening the country around early June. But I've heard so many different reviews or so many different opinions from medical officials and stuff like that, that it could go for 18 months, that we should be expected to go until October, November. But I think we might be kind of overestimating this. I think we need to kind of really step back, take a look in the mirror. It is bad. It's serious. It's worse than we ever thought it could be. But I'm like you. I'm thinking June, July, max. I think it's not going to go away. It's not like you said, it's not going to be completely gone, but enough to the point that we can start getting the sense of normalcy again.
Right. I just want to say, I hope it's gone by then, because these plane tickets are looking real nice. And let me tell you something. We may or may not have a second vacation to Hawaii booked right now in late July.
Oh yeah.
Because those prices went from about $1,000 per person to about $200 to $300 per person. So that's the most expensive part of going to Hawaii, the tickets. So with that being cheap, we're trying to go,
For sure.
So
I can't say I'm planning. You schedule it that far down in advance. I mean, yeah, take a risk. Why not?
Might as well.
And stocks. I bought about $266 worth of Murphy oil, and because it's oil, it's like down to it was like $5.30 per whatever unit when I bought it. I know nothing about. My dad's doing it through his portfolio, whatever. But he's taking money in my account, and so whatever. But no, yeah, because it's oil. Gas is like $1.50 right now or something like that. It's
ridiculous.
It's got to come back, right? My thing is this is like a very low risk, high reward thing because unless society just completely collapses, which if it does, that $266 doesn't mean anything. So it's like pretty. I mean, the risk is basically not there, and the reward is this is a stock that's usually around $30-$40. So we're looking at I think I'm going to make a decent amount of money just kind of capitalizing on just capturing every single silver lining that this thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you got to buy when it's low because, like you said, it's gonna come back up. We don't know when, but eventually it will. We're not gonna stay like this forever. And when you do, you're gonna be rich.
Maybe not rich because in
time, stocks in time.
Well, because I did that. I think if they go up to where I think if it goes up to $25, I'll make $1,000 return, net profit, which is nice, very nice. But I don't have thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to throw in there,
no.
And become rich because college student, we're all kind of in the the where we only have a few $100s wherever. But unless one of you, then again, Alex does look like a doctor, so he may have a bank account, an offshore account with millions of dollars that we just don't know about. So
he could be a doctor out in Indonesia or something. We just don't know about it.
Look at that piece of art behind him. That looks exquisite.
You don't know how much I pay for this thing. You're not going to believe it. You have no idea.
I guess I'm $35.99.
Yeah, Pottery Barn, baby.
I was like Kirkland's. All right. Well, I think we can sign off from there. Any last words in case everything collapses and we die by next week, which it's not gonna happen. I talk so much crap about the media saying they're just hype. They're doing a good job, but also at the same time, there's probably a little bit too much fear mongering. But I'm out here just saying we might just die by the next week. We may not have a second episode. So
well, we like being dramatic.
Yeah, especially me. If you know me,
it's more fun that way. It's more fun that way. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta build a cliffhanger. If we survive,
That's right.
If we survive, watch episode 2.
We'll be back. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks guys for joining me for this pilot.
Of course.
We're gonna try to make this a weekly thing because what else do we have to do? So thanks for watching the pilot of the CoronaCast.
I do want to say thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure, especially for the pilot episode. This is a milestone, and I can't wait to see what it's going to look like on episode 100 whenever it's 2022, and we're still in the midst of this pandemic.
Oh my gosh. That would be
dramatic.
That's traumatic.
There you go.
Look,
I wanted to end on a good note.
Yeah.
Very good, Brandon. I appreciate it. That was good. That was very good.
Yeah, we're going to be up with the PKA podcast and the Misfits podcast. So, we're going to be one of the biggest podcasts on YouTube. Guarantee it. And we're going to be sponsored by Sonic.
Boom.
So,
that's right.
And that's the mic drop. All right, so Alex, I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
No idea who our next special guest is going to be. So
that's your cliffhanger for those of you that are watching. Yeah.
That's right. That's your
cliffhanger. Next week to find out who our guest is.
All right. Yeah. And with that, once again, thanks for watching. And we'll see you next week.